Welcome back to 30 Days of Comics. This is day 13. What's a book you've read more than 5 times?
I don't read a lot of books that many times. Generally, I've probably read a lot of my collection more than 5 times over the years, just going back and reading stuff and whatnot. But definitely a book that I've read more than 5 times is the whole series, the trade of Batman: Dark Knight Returns. That book was so huge when I was a kid because it kind of turned Batman on his ear as far as putting him as an older man in a dystopia with just lots of bad stuff happening. Female Robin in it, the older Superman, Green Arrow missing his arm, just all kinds of crazy stuff in that book. Absolutely loved it. I'm sure I read the singles. I'm sure I read the singles more than 5 times, but then I picked up got a trade version of it, so I quit wearing out my first prints of it. And that book, like a lot of books, nostalgia. If you go back and read it now, maybe it's got some things about it that maybe aren't as great as what we originally thought. But man, still loved it. It still changed a lot of stuff. Gave Batman a whole new era of dark and grim and gritty and whatnot that probably the book that Batman hasn't recovered from since. But yeah, I'm okay with that. Here we are back with day 13 and a comic book that you have read more than 5 times.
I don't usually read anything more than once. I mean, maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I should go back and read a lot more stuff than I do at least a second time. But something I have definitely taken more than one look at is I Kill Giants. I've read that series a few times, mostly because I'm still trying to figure out what all is real and what all isn't. Because in it, it's about this girl, and it's not a superhero comic, and it's just so amazing. It's about this girl, and she has this her mother's dying of cancer, and she's kind of struggling in school because of that. And I mean, she has bad stuff that happens in her life, and she has this whole other reality. So it's drawn. The comic book is drawn, obviously, but it's drawn normal, and then everything else is kind of drawn in, like all these creatures from her imagination are drawn almost in a scribbly sort of way. And it's really amazing, and I've read that at least like 2 or 3 times because at the end she fights a huge titan, and I still don't know if that's her getting over her own personal demons or if that is actually her fighting said huge giant titan, because it's pretty much her getting over her mother dying. So I don't know if that's real or not. So I've read it a few times and I still can't tell.